Stacey Abrams, a once and current candidate for governor of Georgia, who, by the way, when she lost her race in 2018, said over and over and over again that she was a victim of voter suppression. I guess it's okay when she says it. Her Twitter accounts have not been suppressed. When Donald Trump says it, well, you know. So she's with campaign supporters, and somebody ratted her out. Somebody disclosed with this video exactly what she said to supporters about how bad her state is. Watch this.
Running for governor because I know that we have to have a conversation about who we are in this state and what we want for each other and from each other. I am tired of hearing about being the best state in the country to do business when we are the worst state in the country to live. Let me contextualize. When you're number 48 for mental health, when you're number 1 for maternal mortality, when you have an incarceration rate that's on the rise and wages that are on the decline, then you are not the number 1 place to live.
Yikes. One of the worst states in which to live because of where it ranks on mental health and because of its incarceration rate. Maybe a lot of people in Georgia are committing crime and that's why they're behind bars. Would you like to let them out? How much better would it be to live in Georgia if all the bad guys were let out because too many bad guys are behind bars? Now, my dad is from Georgia, from Athens, Georgia. And Georgia used to be a very, very racist state. But in case you didn't know, she lost the gubernatorial race by just a smidge. And Raphael Warnock is one of their senators, a black guy. Now, after the video came out, and I'd love to know who put it out because this was supposedly in front of a bunch of supporters. Maybe one of her supporters was offended and put it out. I don't know. In any case, she's now walking it back.
I think it was artfully delivered. My point was a point that I've made many times, and my passion in making this point is important because we are listening to Brian Kemp give narrative about a record that does not reflect reality. The more I go around the state, the more I talk to people who are deeply in pain, who are concerned about the fact that just recently, he has declined pandemic SNAP relief for 1.6 million families that are struggling to find the way to take care of themselves and their children. They're trying to find baby formula. He has said no to $120 million for those families. He struck $4 million from the state budget for HIV and AIDS protections. These are communities where we are number 1 in the nation in HIV diagnoses. And so my point is well intended, which is that for so many Georgians, this is not the number 1 place to be, but we have the capacity for greatness. And if people didn't slice the pieces they like and actually listen to my entire narrative, my point is that I want more for Georgia. I believe in our greatness. I moved here the first time because my parents brought me. I came back the second time because this is where I want to live.
Is she accusing the media of splicing her comments up? The left-wing pro-Democrat media that I had to deal with when I ran for governor? Say it ain't so. Now we're going to get back to Georgia and what happened in Georgia regarding its voter suppression laws. Hint, they broke records as far as voter turnout is concerned. But first, I got a few more comments to make. I was stopped by TSA once, and I am TSA pre-check. So I go up to the guy and I give him my boarding pass and my driver's license. And it was actually a woman. And she looks at my boarding pass, looks up at me, looks at my license, looks up at me, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And then she went over to a woman who appeared to be a supervisor. And the supervisor looked at my boarding pass, looked at my license, looked at me, and they both came over. And the supervisor said, "It says here on your boarding pass, you are a female." And I said, "Well, I do swim for the University of Pennsylvania swimming team." And they both started laughing. And the woman who was the supervisor says, "I know who you are. You ran for governor. You're Larry Elder. You're on Fox News. I know you're a man. Come on through." Close call. Now, my former opponent Governor Gavin Newsom, I've mentioned before. But one of the ads he's running says over and over again, he's fighting Texas. He's fighting Texas. And I just had a kind of a suggestion, constructive criticism. How about fight a little bit for California? Do something about the homelessness. Do something about the crime. Stacey Abrams was talking about how her state ranks at the bottom because of mental illness. Our state ranks at the bottom in terms of education, reading and math scores, and people are leaving the state for the very first time. People are moving into Georgia, but they're leaving California. What would have happened to me if I had said California is the worst place in which to live?